This podcast supports Palestine. I believe in advocating for peace, justice, and human rights for all. I do not endorse or promote hatred, violence, or discrimination towards any group. Thank you for tuning in and joining me in my efforts to promote a more just and peaceful world. This podcast will donate a small amount of 20 euros to a non-profitable charity, supporting Palestine in these difficult times. Thank you. Good evening, lovely souls. My name is Fadi, and welcome to Real Talk, a podcast where young adults talk about mental health and self-improvement, striving to be better every day. In this podcast, we're going to be talking about feeling lost, needing this redirection in life, not knowing if you're on the right track or if you need your life to have drastic changes, feeling lonely as well, feeling like you've been left alone, you don't have the right circle around you, and most importantly, we're going to be talking about how we tend to make up fairy tale stories about other people based on our judgment. Now, before we jump in, I would like to invite you to say these affirmations with me. I trust that things are getting better and better each day. I let go of regret. What is done, and I will do better in the future. I accept my mistakes and make amends with the people I care about. Perfect. Now that we have surrounded ourselves with positive affirmations, let's start with the first topic. First topic, feeling lost. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone has already had this situation where they feel quite lost in life generally. Everything goes quite well at first, like you know what you want to do, you know that you have goals, you have a primary goal, secondary goals, knowing that you're striving for a long-term goal, you're striving for something big, as in like getting that promotion or getting that one job that you've always wanted to have, or having so many other expectations and goals set for you. And whenever something changes in your life, you feel unaligned because so much happened and so many things have occurred, and it shifted your vision to be untrue. So what do I mean by that? I'm going to give you an example from my own experience. So initially, I actually wanted to start working or start my internship to become a video editor in Germany. And I intended to do that as soon as possible. Basically, after finishing high school, I wanted to do that. But unfortunately, so much has happened that so many plans have been cancelled, so many applications have been denied, and it shifted my whole plan to be delayed for a year. And it gave me so much time to actually think about what I truly want to do. If that is the right thing for me, if that thing is something that I envision in my future, I envision for myself, I envision for the future me to be doing. And truly, to be quite honest, it did make me feel quite upset and quite frustrated, irritated, sad. It did make me feel quite depressed. I'm gonna be fully honest with you guys, because I really wanted to start this internship this year. because I've made a whole plan of, okay, you know what, I'm going to start the internship this year, then I know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to start with this project, I'm going to start with that project, I want to move out, I want to buy myself this, I want to buy myself that. And I had so many plans and ideas prepared for that whole year, or actually for the 3 years, since doing an internship in Germany lasts for 3 years, so I kind of planned ahead. And whenever that plan did not go accordingly, or didn't happen, at least this year, it felt like I was lost. It felt like my current goals have been misplaced or have not been met, and I have kind of failed. It did kind of make me have the feeling that I failed. Made me lose my tracks of my current goals and my long-term goals, because I've been seeing them fade away. I've been overwhelmed with this change that I have written so many applications and all of them got denied. Every single application that I wrote got denied. So many events happened, and it changed the future for me, changed the present actually, and changed my future as well. And for a long time I've been pessimistic about this, and I've been looking at the situation from a perspective of, oh, why did this happen to me? Do I really deserve this? Like, why does it keep happening to me? And then whenever I started, thinking about it more and looking at it from another direction, I was like, okay, what is this trying to teach me, honestly? Because clearly there is something that is holding me back from believing that this is the end. Like, this is it. Like, I had something in mind, and it didn't go well. And truly, it was more the question of, is this the right thing for me? Do I really want to be a video editor in my life? Like, do I want to pursue that as a career? Is that really the thing that I want to do? And when that hit me, I have decided to do something else. So I started redirecting myself. I was like, okay, what did I want to do initially? Like, what was my dream job when I was a kid? What did I wish to become as a kid? Because when you're younger, you always have like these different visions of being a doctor, being a teacher, being all of that. And I picked out one idea or one vision that I had as a child and started implementing it, and started thinking of ways to get experience, or at least have a glimpse of how the job looks like, to know if that would fit in if that would fit for me, if that would fit in my vision. So that's what I'm doing currently, and it was honestly the best decision for me, because it really allowed me to take the space and take the time that I need to figure myself out and my goals and my alignment, and to determine if I'm going in the right direction. So, what do you do when you feel lost? Honestly, we all feel lost at one point. There's always going to be a time where we're going to doubt if we're going in the right direction. And I'm going to say this, honestly, we're always going to go in one direction. It's always going to be like that. It's always going to be that we're going to have a lot of questions if this would be the right thing to do, if this path is the right one for us. And instead of just being so paranoid about if it's the right one or not, I think we should just take that step, and we should just go that path. We should just go down that path and just see if it is the right one for us. Doesn't matter if it is or not, we'll still learn a lot from it, and it'll actually direct us or redirect us to the direction that was the one made for us. So it doesn't matter what we do, we still learn, and we still learn more about ourselves and find out more about which direction we should be going to. Moving on to the next topic, feeling lonely. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of you feel that or have felt that, being alone, being lonely, I actually differ between being lonely and being alone, because I believe that everyone should learn to be alone, should be comfortable in their own presence, knowing what they need, listening to their bodies, listening to their brain, taking care of themselves, being disciplined, being aware of what they do to their body, being aware of what they do to their brain. If you're constantly on your phone, playing games, you're always like craving this dopamine, like what do you need? Or you're always craving attention, validation. Like I really support, or like how should I say this? I really promote being alone, sorry. I really promote being alone, because if you learn how to be alone, you learn how to be in a relationship, or you learn how to be with other people. Because when you define your own self-worth, everyone will know your worth. Everyone will. Because you will learn everything. Whenever you learn your own self-worth, everything will come with it. You will learn how to be alone. You will learn how to set boundaries a bit. You'll learn how to settle for stuff, or you'll learn how to settle, not to settle for less or stuff like that. But going to the other aspect of, being alone is loneliness. Now, loneliness is something I've been honestly struggling with for the past couple of months. And I don't know how it came to that fact, but I've reflected on that today, and it really struck me. When you're hanging out with the wrong kind of people, and you notice after a couple of days or a couple of hours even, you're so drained by these people. These people only are negative. They complain. They are always tending to see the negative in everything, and they lash it out on you. They even make fun of you. They poke at your insecurities, or they try to disturb you or trigger you in some way or another. And then when you're starting to like focus on yourself, focus on your own self-improvement, and you see that these people are the wrong kind of people for you, and you stop talking to them, and you block them, you start like you start denying their requests or their calls of suggesting to meet up somewhere when they clearly are not a good fit for you. That's where you start feeling loneliness, because you settled for much more, and you refused to settle for friends who only bring you down and who only bring your energy down. That's where you start looking at everyone differently, because now you're looking and you're observing what other people are doing. Are they recharging your energy? Are they celebrating your wins, your accomplishments, your achievements? Are they really willing to support you in everything you do? Are they there being brutally honest with you? Are they there to like offer you comfort and safe space and love? And if not, then these kind of people are not for me. And you even learn how to differentiate between friends, like real friends, and just people you know. It's like you see them as like complete different groups. And even when you start working more on self-improvement, you also start seeing these bad patterns in people. You start understanding why they do that. You start to understand, why does this person react this way? Why does this person always have the tendency to just to break somebody, or just to hurt somebody in one way or another, having this craving of needing, or of like really being forced, like having the feeling that they're forced to hurt someone for their own pleasure. Or there's another example of people who are over apologetic, like they keep over apologizing, like they're too apologetic, and they're just so anxious about what you think or what you see them as. They're always concerned about their self-image, and whenever you see their behavior reflecting on their inner soul, and you notice that, then you know why you feel lonely, actually, because you see these kind of people and you would like to talk to them about these kind of things with the intent of offering a perspective, with the intent of offering them the closure, or the intent of making them realize that they're in a negative pattern, but then realizing you're wasting your energy because these people are not willing to get better. These people are not willing to improve. These people are not willing to reflect on their own behavior, because some people really believe that this is who they are and this is it. And that's why when you look at it from this perspective, you're like, oh, okay, damn. Okay, now I know what he has, but I don't want to be a part of this whole friendship, because I already have experience, or I already anticipate about what's gonna happen. So in order to not go through that, I'll just ignore it or avoid it. That's at least my experience with loneliness. That's how I feel lonely lately, because I'm in the process of finding the right friends and the right people that recharge me, that are there for me, and that are willing to listen, give me the real perspectives, be understanding, be communicative, be honest. So that's what I'm gonna say about feeling lonely. Moving on to the last section of this podcast, which I really couldn't give it a name. And it's basically this phenomenon of us making up fairy tale stories about other people. So what I realized I've been doing a lot recently is, if I am not understanding the behavior of somebody, or if someone looks at me weird, or if somebody is like weirdly shy or is not talking to me, I start making up the most insane stories about them. And it actually happened like 3 days ago. I was working and a customer just came in. So I, of course, because I'm being polite to my customers, so I greet them and say, "Hi, welcome to the store," and I, heartily, kindly welcome them to the store. And they legitimately give me the look, that look where they look up and down at you. It's like that I'm judging you look. And I've never seen it in this kind of manner, because this person literally looked at me up and down, and they just turned around and kept shopping. And I was like, wow, okay, so this person clearly hates me, which is not even the case. And that's exactly where I make up fairy tale stories about other people, because that is not the case. That is not the case. And I know that was not the case, because when I was on the cashier, like on the register, we were talking with each other. They bought their own things. They were talking to me in a really, really nice tone. We even talked about how the person was self-employed, how they spend a lot of time to find their own passion in life. And it was a really nice conversation that we had. And it had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with, oh my god, this person hates me. And I think we really tend to do this very often, where we start to, if no one gives us closure, we start to look at everything much differently. Just because someone isn't giving us closure, we start theorizing. We start to make conclusions about stuff that is probably not even true. Of course, there are some things that I also consider is closure, as in, like, not getting that reply, or being disrespected in a way where someone is not, communicating with you in the proper manner. There are a lot of aspects of closure where you would have the right closure, the right kind of closure, and the wrong kind of closure, in my opinion. So for me, the right kind of closure is the closure that you give to people directly. You don't hide it, you don't make them guess, you don't make them think about it, you don't make them wait or anything, because no answer is already closure. That's like bottom line, cut and dry. And closure in the negative manner for me is not giving closure at all, which is basically no answer to any questions, no communication whatsoever, giving off mixed signals, making other people guess, which is basically, I'm repeating myself now, but that's basically how I see it. And that's why I really believe that we should stop making up fairy tale stories about other people, which is something that I have noticed yesterday. I noticed that I've been doing that a lot yesterday, and I would really like to share that with you guys, because I think maybe someone is experiencing that and doesn't feel alone. So that's gonna be it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of Real Talk. Make sure you take care of yourselves tonight and be kind to yourself. And I appreciate you being here.